but you can't stop going. It's a hopeless feeling, and you're surrounded around a bunch of hopelessness. You have to be crazy in believing what your goal and your passion is. Because when something is crazy, even though it's crazy, you still do it, right? You know what I mean? And so that's what you have to become. You have to become insane, right? So you could be smarter than me, but you were never gonna outwork me, ever. Like, for real. There are no quick answers to big problems. Like, there just aren't any.
In life, that things will go bad, and things are going to go bad. This is not the first or the last time that's going to happen. It's going to keep happening, and that's just how life is. You'll be past this, and you'll be okay. And there is nothing for you to worry about here. We can be, as human beings, as people who are always right for the world, or we can be just right for ourselves. Right? So we can just be honest about ourselves, or we can put display for the world. Nothing wrong with putting display to the world if that's what gives you joy. But just be honest about it with yourself, because eventually it all boils down to you and your story. So it's not about more, it's always about less. It's only in time you realize what less it is. Fear is a figment of our imagination, right? Fear is created because of expectations. Right, and I learned this process early on, is that every time I would get scared, I would usually be scared because I have some future I have imagined. There is something in the future that I think will happen because I will do this right now, is why I'm scared of doing this, right? You're about to jump off a plane, you think you're going to die, you don't consider you have a parachute or a person that is jumping with you, right? So that's what you're scared of, is why you won't jump off a plane, is because you think you will die. So I had, firstly, once you have an expectation of yourself and you say, hey, I don't need to have this expectation, I'm just living life as a play. It's a game, it's music, it's fun, it's joy. I don't have an expectation of a particular outcome. It doesn't mean I'm discounting myself. Like, the people can get confused with that. Like, it's not that I'm saying, oh, I don't want to be even more impactful in the world, or a better version, or a more honest version of myself. That journey will still continue. I just don't have that expectation. I'm not going to be sad if that doesn't happen one day. The chase, let's enjoy the chase. Why do we have to kill ourselves if we don't get it? The chase is supposed to be fun. Life is flowing. You can choose to change in this moment, you can choose to change it 3 years from now or 30 years from now, and it will change the day you want to change it, right? Now, once you know that, you understand that goals can be timeless. Now, the second part of that is, if life is going to flow, means on every moment basis, it's going to be different in a way, right? It's almost like, it's like a heartbeat or a river or music. It changes by the note, right? It's just changing all the time, right? This moment, it's different, right? Energy changes, our way we react to things change, all things change all the time. And if that's the case, what's the one thing that can define us or help us stay in a place of joy, right? Because if life is going to be up and down, and things will change, and things will go bad, and things will go right, there has to be something that becomes our anchor point. It can't always be that goal, which is so arbitrary anyways. So what is it that can help us always be in that grounding state and be in a place of joy and be in that floating state all the time? To be able to go, oh, I'm pumped about this. I'm pumped about this moment. Doesn't matter how it shows up. I'm pumped about this, right? And that got me to the dialogue of saying, maybe I need to find something that I can anchor into at all times. Things that actually give me joy all the time, right? And that's what your values are. Your values are usually already with you. You just have not bring in awareness to them. It's the way you operate.
You have the potential today to be special. Every second that passes now is the opportunity to succeed.
You can be so much more. Success never stops. Never stops to breathe, never takes a day off, never looks to take a break.
Forget the things you can't control. Look for the moments you can control. Lose the times you can't control. Use the times you can control.
You need to become someone, and you need to become your future. You need to handle your power and feel your potential. You gotta feel this pain to progress, to change, to feel fulfilled, to feel satisfaction. This is where everything can, and trust me, it all will fall into place.
Succeed into something worthy, something with the power to change, to adapt. Adapt into the person you've always wanted to be. You have this opportunity today to be something with purpose.
Now pay attention to every detail. Take every day like it's a brand new spanking opportunity. Take every risk as if it's a stepping stone into the future you're carving out for yourself. Because you have control. You have the control to change and the control to improve. The action and improvement.
To become the boundaries that have always held you back. You have always had the strength to push past these boundaries. To move past this, you need to know your power.
It all takes resilience. Resilience to push past any boundary and push through every risk, every hardship, every wrong turn. Right now, right here, is an open door. The door that puts you on the path towards success. You have control. You have control over your future. A future fueled by your success, constructed by your progress. It all begins right here and it all starts right now. Don't waste one more minute sitting and thinking. I want you to spend your next minute acting.
Today is your day to tell your story, to speak your mind, to tell the truth about your future, to speak about the power you've always had, the potential you've always had. This is how you succeed. You will be your power. You have this power. Communicate your problems. Communicate the power you know that you have. This is the beginning of your power, the start of your progress.
It doesn't get any easier. You just get stronger. If you want to change, don't expect your life to stay the same. Expect it to get harder. Expect it to actually get really, really tough. Tougher than you can even imagine right now. And this is where you can move past the boundaries that used to hold you back, used to hold you by the neck. Now you can move towards the fulfillment that's your future. And this, you see, this is where you can finally feel the satisfaction of your work. This is when you finally get to feel that success.
This is where your progress can be kick-started. Accelerate your life into your direction. Your journey is the power you've earned. The expectation you've built can be your reality. Reality where you live, you breathe, you walk, you succeed. Now isn't the time to wait. Now isn't the time to waste. Let this be the power that takes you towards your success. This is the opportunity you've earned. This is the potential you've always had.
Now is the time for you to step up, stand out, and become the person you need to become. Your future is in your hands, and this is what sets your life up to be worth the potential that you deserve. Your power is and always has been the thing that's going to take you towards the life that you have earned. You have, and you always will have this potential to improve, this potential to adapt, and this potential to change. This is what you've been working for. Go on and receive that.
This is your journey. This is your destiny. And either you wander aimlessly or you grab the wheel and take control of the ship. Either you head in the direction you want to go or you go in no direction at all. Most people allow life to happen to them. Their time runs like a sand timer. Life is happening to them. It isn't happening for them. Make life work for you. Make your time work for you. Do not allow your time to empty each day without achieving anything. Go into the world today and spend your time wisely. Make small wins every day that will lead you down the path to success. Motivation gets you started, but habit will keep you going. Motivation is great. It is like a coffee in the morning. It gets the engine going and gets you moving, but it is a habit that will develop your success.
Can't is not an option. It's either I will or I won't. I know I can, but I will or I won't. you know, and that's the thing. And in some cases, you may try your hardest and you just don't win, or you don't pass the test, or you don't succeed. That's part of life. Understanding it's going to take hard work, discipline, and learning how to work with other people in order to get to the next level. The first rule is to love and respect everybody you come in contact with. You're not going to agree with them. You're not going to even like them on some occasions, but you love them and you respect them. Number two is to be your best. You know, if your best is a C on the test, even if it's D or F on the test, you know, you can never be disappointed if you know you gave it your all. And then, you know, number three is we don't use the word can't. You know, it's not in our vocabulary. I was told my entire life, you'll never do this, you'll never do that, you can't do this, it's impossible for you to do that. When you tell somebody what they can't do, for some people that drives them, you know, because you're not going to tell me what I can or cannot do. But for other people, when you tell them, oh, you'll never be able to do that, like that could be the breaking straw, you know, and that back for that person, that's their spirit, to actually go out and succeed. So I never tell my kids, if they come to me and they may have the most outrageous idea, I say, all right, cool, let's figure out how we're going to do it. I never say, oh man, you can't do that, we ain't doing that. It's a work ethic. You got to be passionate about whatever it is that you're going to do, whether it be, you know, an artist, entertainer, sports figure, political, like whatever it is that you decide to do in life, you have to have an extreme work ethic. You got to be willing to do stuff that other people aren't willing to do. You have to have respect. The first thing I taught my kids when they can understand it was how to shake somebody's hand. If your agenda is to help make an impact on people's lives, then it shouldn't matter if your name's at the top of the banner. It shouldn't matter if, you know, your gifts have certain name tags or whatever, however you want to do it. I'm super competitive, so nobody's going to tell me what I can't do. I mean, I can't sing, but don't tell me I can't sing. I'm going to give you my best singing possible. It's not that I can't sing, it's just I don't sing well. But you know what I'm saying? So it's like, for me, I always had a drive to, like, not prove people wrong, but to prove God's right. You know, God said that He has great plans for me. So my grandmother passed away from breast cancer in 1995. I was going to the hospice. The woman that was her roommate, per se, was she was from the South, you know, and she was very racist. You know, every time I come in the room, she'd say, oh, well, there goes that boy. I had to do everything I could. She, you know, I knew I had grown because I didn't respond the way I probably should have responded had she caught me a couple years earlier. You know, my grandmother, after a few weeks, you know, she reached over and grabbed my arm, and she was like, you know, if I happen to die before she does, I want you to come back and see her. And I'm like, no, this is not my grandmother talking right now. And so you know, it ended up happening like 3 weeks after my grandmother said that. My grandmother passed away. And so my grandmother saw something at the time that I didn't really understand why she was doing it. But I went back and I go into this room, and the lady's like sits up on her seat, and she's just started bawling, crying.
And this is the racist lady?
Yes. And then she was like, I'm so glad I got a chance to see you again. I thought I'd never see you again. You know, I apologize for how I treated you. You know, I've gone to church. I've done so many things, you know, in church. I've served the homeless, etc., etc. But I wasn't doing the one thing that I know that God would have approved of the most, and that's loving His people. And then she asked me if I can give her a hug. And I said in my TED talk, you know, I was a little apprehensive about doing that because she could have, you know, shanked me or something like that on the side. But, you know, I hugged her, and when I hugged her, she said, you're like the son that I never had. And I'm going, okay. I didn't understand it at the time. I'm walking out, and then the lady said, the ladies up front, they were like, that was so beautiful to witness, because, essentially the reason why she had so much anger towards you was because she kind of got dropped off, which happens a lot in nursing homes or, care centers. The family dropped her off, and she has 2 daughters, and the daughters just couldn't handle the seeing their mom in that position. And my grandmother saw that before I would have ever saw it. She just saw, an opportunity for even the hardest of hearts to be changed, even in their dying days. If you can have impact on somebody that you know that way, then just imagine what's going to happen when you do that to a complete stranger. And it may not be I love you and I believe in you. It may be the action of showing, hey, you're worthy of nice clothes or a nice pair of shoes, or you're worthy of being able to go and enjoy a movie. In college, the more successful people are the ones, most of the time, the people that are more well-rounded. You kind of have an appreciation for what other people do and what other people are going through, but you can be inspired on any given moment, any given day, just talking to people.
It doesn't get any easier. You just get stronger. If you want to change, don't expect your life to stay the same. Expect it to get harder. Expect it to actually get really, really tough. Tougher than you can even imagine right now. And this is where you can move past the boundaries that used to hold you back. Used to hold you by the neck. Now you can move towards the fulfillment that's your future. And this, you see, this is where you can finally feel the satisfaction of your work. This is when you finally get to feel that success. Now is the time for you to step up, stand out, and become the person you need to become. Your future is in your hands, and this is what sets your life up to be worth the potential that you deserve. Your power is and always has been the thing that's going to take you towards the life that you have earned. Don't fail yourself. Perseverance is the aspect that takes you towards a future worthy of your strength, worthy of your progress. So take pride in that more than anything. You have, and you always will have this potential to improve, this potential to adapt, and this potential to change. This is what you've been working for. Go on and receive that.
One mistake shouldn't hold you back for more than one day. The rise is the most important part of your progress. The rise makes your future something different. It makes you you. It makes you strong. And the intelligence of that takes you to a power worth your future. And value this. This moment of pain is not going to last forever unless you let it last forever. You don't need this, so don't let it happen. Change your perspective. Change your mindset to something always willing to grow, always willing to take courage. Make this who you are and make this worthwhile. This power that you have is valuable because your future is valuable and your potential is valuable. You're more than you could ever imagine, man. Your power is stronger than you could ever imagine. This progress is going to take time, but this opening to work, this opening that you have in this moment, it's not always open. So take it. Take it right now. Take it now before it's too late. You're more than your last minute. You're more than your last minute. You're more than your last mistake. Get prepared for the success. Get prepared for the progress. You can make this you. Make this power yours. Yours to keep forever. Because this is what you're going to leave behind. This is what your legacy is made up of. The moments when you get knocked down but rise up over and over again. These are the building blocks of the legacy that you're constructing. These moments when you push forward and rise up over and over again. And that is what brings you to the place where you thrive. The place where you thrive and become better.
People gave to me and my family and my mom and other kids in my situation when they had nothing to gain in return. And that's character. You know, when you can give someone something, do something for somebody, and it's really not about you, it's really about helping them. And you're not expecting anything in return, right? You have to set the precedence of like being authentic. You know, we live in a very, inauthentic world where we don't do nearly as much as we could do if we didn't have an agenda. I don't have an agenda. You know, my only agenda is to literally change everybody's life that I could possibly change in one way or another. Being authentic and being me has literally changed my whole life. Because people are really starving for truth.
We talk ourselves into a lot. I'm tired. I'm so tired. I'm so tired. You keep saying that, you're going to live a tired life. You don't want to be married to that person. You don't want to be friends with that person. You don't want to be led by that person who's constantly tired. So actually the people we really admire are not tired people. They're actually energized people who love and have energy to give and value to give. If you're not living it, don't shout it from the rooftop. Everyone does not have to believe what I believe, but I want everyone to feel like they matter, they have purpose, they have someone who loves them, will listen to them, care for them. Before you know it, we could have a lot less lonely people in the world, and that would be pretty awesome. Share with people what's really changed your life and what you're really living out, and your words will have a lot more power. I actually think we're suffering from a lack of love on a grand scale, on an epic scale. It might be the greatest epidemic in the world. Maybe it always has been. I think horrific things like racism are symptomatic of the fact. We don't feel loved. We don't feel like we matter. We don't feel like we're valued. And so we devalue each other, and we fight, and we war. Most people don't say what they want in life, where they want to go, who they want to be. They take it as it comes, which is really disturbing and sad, but it's true. For instance, we take friendships as they come. We're just like, well, I guess we kind of met, and you like juice boxes and I like juice boxes, so let's just hang out and talk about Capri Sun or whatever. And I think we ought to be more intentional and be honest. What do I want? What kind of friends do I want? What kind of life do I want? And then I think speak that out, first of all, declare that, be honest. Recently I did an exercise, again, back to our team, and they said, why do we exist? Judah, why do you exist? Why do we exist? Not the answer you think you're supposed to give, but the answer, the truth of what you want and why you exist. And creating a safe space with the people that you intentionally have chosen in your life to go, all right, we're gonna get bare bones honest here. This is actually what I want in life. This is actually why I exist. And then we've got to hold each other accountable to that. Bro, you can't wake up at 11 p.m. every day if that's what you want. And I think that's why I'm a big proponent of community. I don't think people can be who they're supposed to be without community. And community doesn't have to be 10,000 people. It can be 5, it can be 3, it can be the right people, not just a bunch of people, but the right people. It's been said, show me your friends, I'll show you your future. It's real. I can tell you where you're going right now by the people you're hanging out with on a consistent basis.
We are, so often our own worst enemies, right? We keep ourselves, off the stage, for fear of bad reviews, and don't even realize that, in the process we're, forgetting how to dance and losing the joy in it, right? And it's just such a shame. We're all masters of our own universes, right? Alone in our own worlds. And I certainly think everybody, should figure it out. Right? You should figure it out for yourself, because time's going to go by either way. And you can live a life of happenstance, of reaction, Or you can take some time to figure out how you want to spend your time, who you want to be at work, who you want to be as a parent, who you want to be as a spouse, and on and on and on. And you can try to be that person, and you can try to live that life. So that's what I have in mind when I say, you really should define your success, your purpose, and labor towards it. Everything's a choice. Every moment of your life is a choice. How do you want to spend that moment? Who do you want to be? It is not the circumstances we confront that dictate the lives we experience. It just cannot be. There are counterexamples all over the place. Choose to be happy, literally in every moment. And again, I'm not saying it's easy. Again, and I'm not saying it's always easy for me, but it's certainly a worthwhile endeavor. I mean, you spill on yourself, or you knock something over, or you're late for a meeting, or it can derail you. It can be something quote unquote awful. Meanwhile, most of the world is worried about healthcare and food and clothing. But or you can choose to laugh about it, and you can choose to have fun with it. You can choose to let it go. And again, I think every moment is an amalgam of precisely those choices. And I think it behooves us to spend some time thinking about our answers. You're the master of your reality. And once you buy that, once you're willing to take responsibility for the fact that you are literally creating the life you are experiencing, the reality, your reality is your creation. And not enough time on this moment right now. What is my best next step? What can I do right now to make progress? And the truth of the matter is, the world changes, a million times a day. You're going to change a million times a day. Who knows what's going to happen on the journey from A to Z? Just focus on getting from A to B, and get that done, and we'll worry about C to Z later. Every single human being, every human, faces their own discrete constellation of challenges. Right? It's part of the human condition. There's nothing special or unique in facing these big challenges or obstacles, but how we handle it and how we choose to look at them, that makes all the difference in the world. Life is choice, and I said, if you tell yourself you're going to live this small and remarkable, pathetic life, and you're not going to love or respect yourself, and you're not going to find a mate, and all, you can make that happen for yourself, or you can choose to have a different life.
There's one way you should see life. Life is an opportunity. You have this opportunity for a reason. That reason is to succeed. Succeed far past fears, past doubts, past your insecurities, and powering yourself toward the finish line. Now is the time to make this opportunity. Your opportunity is more than this. It's your potential to succeed. Use your potential. Use it as your superpower, because that's what it is. Power. Power to succeed, to achieve. How badly do you want something? How much do you want it? There's only one way to get it. It's to work hard. Motivate your life toward a future where you can succeed, where you can achieve. How much do you appreciate this opportunity? How much do you want this? So respect the path you're on. Take the journey. Become the path. Make this define you. Your future relies on this. So be this opportunity. Take the risk and become the person you want to be. You're there. You're present. So act like it. Be prepared to struggle, but more importantly, be prepared to succeed. Today will not be the day you fail. Today is an opening. The opening to make it. Take the path. You're on the path. All you have to do is take a step. Close your eyes and imagine reality. Reality, but with everything you've ever wanted. Surrounded by everything you've ever wanted to achieve. Believing that you have it. Knowing that you have all this. This is how your mindset should always be. To know that you have this potential within you. That this picture isn't so far from reality. That this picture can be executed. Your potential is your power, and this power can strengthen your progress, the progress you need to achieve. You have this, so use this. Grasp this opportunity. Take this now to make it past your imagination and make this your reality. Work harder than you ever have. Nothing comes easy. So what are you going to do? How are you going to change? Your life can be so much more than what you think it is right now. Time is power. You have more, so much more than this. Use this. You have this. Grow and strengthen your potential. Strengthen your power. Think about your success like you have it. You will have it. Believe you have it. Then you'll have the chance. You will have the opportunity. What have you done today? What did you do yesterday? And what are you going to do tomorrow? Life is fueled by progress. Fuel your life to the next level. Think about your life. It's a place you live and will always live. So why now are you sabotaging your future? You need to make your life something. Something better than just somewhere you live. So what are you going to do? Today, you can make a change. Little switches, actions that can make you, define you. Wake up an hour earlier. Replace your sandwich with a salad. These changes will become habits. Habits that can transform your life forever. You will become a better person. You are the better person. All you have to do is stand up to that role. Stand up for yourself and start living your life for what it is, an opportunity. An opportunity to succeed, to be a leader, to have power and control over the decisions you make. You have the potential. All you have to do is use it. Spark your potential. Drive your motivation. Be creative and design a life where you see yourself succeeding. A life where you can respect and have the confidence in the choices that you make. So work hard. Be strong. Have courage. Start the journey and succeed.
It's like you just do what's hard until it's not hard anymore. It's like if you broke your hand and you weren't used to riding with that hand, and then you're forced to, ride or to use chopsticks or to do something. Once you do it enough, it becomes, a casual thing to do. Once you get that taste of victory and you're like, wow, well, maybe, I want to keep going on this path. Visualize, definitely. That's kind of the thing for me. It's always been like, well, what's it going to look like, and what's it going to feel like, and what am I going to be wearing, and every little detail, and visualize yourself winning. Like, what are you going to do after? You just project it, and it happens. And I've always kind of like set goals for myself. That's a huge one. Set the goal of like, what do you really want to do? Like, what is it in the end? For me, I would always set up like a fun goal and then like a serious goal. Even those slight step backs are actually, to leap forward in a way, because how are you going to know where you lay in the whole, field of things and what's going on? It's to take a step back and then go, okay, you reassess, refocus. And I've been to contests before where I really wanted to win and I put everything on the line for that event and I didn't win. And I went like, man, you put too much pressure on it. You did this, you did that. There's such thing as over practicing too. A lot of guys show up at the competitions and there's 2 hours to ride, and they're the first one there at the gate. They ride 2 hours and then, they landed their run, 15 perfect runs, and then they get to the contest and they fall. I'm like, yeah, because you just nailed it 15 times. It's like rolling dice. You're gonna hit 7, like you're gonna crap out, and like save it for the real contest. Like you got it. You gotta be your own friend in that scenario. In that moment of like, well, I put in the work and it's the actual, like, that's what you're going for. And yeah, you said in business you can fail here and there, and it's the same idea of like trying something over and over and just finally cracking the code on it. And then once you get that win, you get that experience and know that you can succeed, it's that like I said in competition, that seed of doubt goes away and you show up to win every time. That's the only option, you know, and once that's the only option, it's even more obtainable. You know, you have that in you, and projecting that positive thing always just leads to the better outcomes either way, you know. And even with pressure as well, when people say like, how do you deal with the pressure? And I'm just so thankful for the pressure, you know, like they're like, everybody thinks you're gonna win the Olympics. And I go, well, if everybody thinks I'm gonna win, that's great. Like that's a lot of people believing in me, thinking that I can do it. Hey, maybe I just might be able to do it, you know, if you, instead of letting it weigh me down, like, oh my God, all these people are expecting this from me, and I'm expecting this from myself, and it's just too much, I can't handle, like, no, it's such it's a blessing. It's a great thing to have people counting on you and needing that, and it's all kind of leading up to that sort of like, you know, you can win, you felt it before, you know it's obtainable, everybody else believes in you. It's like your team rather than letting it weigh you down. So if you can kind of put that subtle spin on things and use it to your advantage, is always a better scenario. And you keep trying to better your craft, and then within that there's a team element. You got to know your strengths and your weaknesses. It's kind of like knowing yourself as well, knowing your strengths and your weaknesses, and kind of sticking to that. Like, what are you really good at and what are you not, and being real and honest with yourself about it. There's a difference between like working hard at something that you're not good at and forcing it. And that's kind of the inner question you have to ask.
Positivity can change the outlook of your whole day. Your productivity increased, work rate increases, where your life falls into place. With one switch of perspective, one change of attitude on just one day can change your whole future. Your future is in your hands, and this is what you can achieve.
Just keep going. When it hurts, just keep going. When you fail, just keep going. And when you fall, just keep going. When you want to give up, just keep going. When your luck is done, just keep going. Don't stop, just keep going. Don't wait, just keep going. No matter what, keep moving. Stopping is for quitters. If you lose, it's okay, as long as you keep going and as long as you keep moving. But if you lose and you stop, then you have failed. You're relentless, you will push farther than before, climb higher and climb to heights you have not seen, because progress is progress. It doesn't matter if you move forward 10% or 0.01%, as long as you've moved forward. As long as you do this day in and day out, because above everything else, consistency is key. If you consistently take small steps, one day you're going to look back and see just how far you've come.
Today can transform to become something with potential. All it takes is a smile, seeing life from a different angle. You have this power. Now is the time to become someone you know, someone you trust, someone you can believe in. Today, right now, is the foundation for progress. Progress takes you towards a future where you succeed. Succeed towards a life better than best. This attitude takes you to a place full of potential. This is the time to finally succeed. A place full of potential. This is where it begins.
You know, I always see those guys who come into the gym and they work intensely for just 1 3-hour session, and then I never see them again. I see the guy getting up at 4 a.m. for a week, and then he never does it again. But the guy who trains 1 hour a day consistently all year beats the other guys. The guy who wakes up at 6 a.m. every morning consistently beats the other guy. It's about consistency, consistently moving forward. Little steps every day over the year, it's going to add up. Small moves in the direction of your goal every day are going to add up.
Light up your day. Become something. Become something of substance. Change takes work. Work. Hard work. Work that directs you towards your future fueled on success. Your success. For this to happen, the work starts now. Your life starts now. This is where everything finally falls into place. Everything defined by you and only you.
Soon, you're going to be where you want to be, but you must keep moving forward. You can't stop and you can't stand still. You got to keep pushing and you got to keep going, and you have to be the clock. You're always running. You are always consistent and you're constant. You're not a quitter. You are not a stopper. You're a winner because you never give up. You will succeed because you're moving in the right direction.
Take this risk for your future, for a life full of strength, a life with a future that is worthy of your work.
Yesterday, I had a long time to think about my life. So I sat down and I wrote a list. I thought of all the dreams I've ever had, from the earliest memory I've ever had. And I stared at this list that I'd made, fantasy or not. So I made a promise to myself. I knew I had to achieve as much as I possibly could. I knew I could start today with a different purpose than yesterday. Do you know your why? Because I had everything I could ever need to check off these goals. It was so simple. You know what it was? Belief. I now had the drive to make it through the list, to tick off each goal day by day. Now, how about tomorrow you make the same list I had? Tomorrow, before you even had the chance to wake up, grab a piece of paper and a pen and physically write them down. Take the burden out of your head, and then I want you to stare at them. Look at them face to face. Stand up to your fears. Use this list as your superpower. Every day, look at this list to inspire you. Use this list to drive you forward. Feel the satisfaction of crossing them out, ticking them off, and completing your goals. Make this list your power. The power that you need to succeed. The power you need to move so far past your potential that you become the person you never thought you could become. Make it past your fears. Make it through your boundaries. Make it past the rejection, the regret, and change. You are more than what you achieve because you are the person that has grown. The person with the determination to make it past the list you originally made, to complete the goals you thought were unimaginable.
And that life's going to get better if you believe it will. That just having that blind faith that, you know, whatever is happening to you right now is meant to happen for you, for a greater good. And I know it's tough right now for you to hear that, but you can either look at it two ways. You can either look at it that this, like, woe is me, this is going to happen, this is happening to me, and I'm going to, you know, blame everybody else and respond in a way that's going to make my life worse, or I can acknowledge that I'm using this situation to become a better version of me to be able to help other people going forward. And I think with that, it kind of gives you a positive approach to it where they can look at it and say, you know what, like, I'm going through this pain right now. I acknowledge I'm going through it, but it's going to make me one hell of a man growing up, and that ultimately is going to save my ass, you know, as I grow up. You got yourself here, you're here right now, and you can, you know, man up and do what you need to do to get better, or you can be a bitch, go cry in the corner, blame everybody for your problems, say, woe is me. And I think sometimes in our lives when we're feeling that hopelessness and we're in that rat race of just feeling sorry for ourselves and saying, you know, life's never gonna get better, it's tough. And I think, especially when we don't have that belief in ourselves, when somebody says, I believe in you and you can do it and I'm gonna help show you the way to get you started, I was like, I'd never had anybody do that to me before, that unconditional love. I just felt like this void being filled. Whether we believe we can or we believe we can't, right? It's the same answer. And for me, I always believed that I couldn't. I'm not gonna be able to do it. I'm not. And
you're your own direction. You're your own power and you're your own beginning. This is the power that you deserve and a power that honestly you should trust. Remember, your life is in your control, not anybody else's. A lot of people are going to tell you to do this or do that or say, I'm just a product of my environment. That's not true. In your hands, this very moment is your journey, the journey that allows you to be someone fueled by your potential.
Keep going, keep going, keep going.
Now isn't the time to wait. Now isn't the time to waste. Let this be the power that takes you towards your success. This is the opportunity you've earned. This is the potential you've always had. Step out of the crowd and step into your success.
And I think in life, we can't change the past, right? We can only learn and grow from it. So there's no sense in like harping on mistakes you made. They're done. Like I always say, fail more, because if you never made a mistake, it means you never tried. If you never tried, it means you never took a chance. And if you never took a chance, you never believed in yourself, you never had faith. And faith, we need faith. You need to believe in yourself. And it doesn't matter how many times you failed. What matters is you keep getting up every day and trying again. And that's what really is important, at knowing that each day you have an opportunity to change. Keep going, keep going, keep going.
Take the risks that allow you to become something more, that allow you to change your view on life, that allow you to look through a different pair of eyes, one that grants you the power to see something and to know how to change it, to look at life as an opportunity to feel like somebody new, someone with the potential that can keep moving forward.
We're not defined by our circumstances. We're defined by the choices we make in response to our circumstances. And I think people don't like to look at pain. People are afraid of pain. They don't want to be hurt. They want to be coddled. They want this, they want that. Pain's great, man. And I think we need to change the way we view pain, because pain can really be the catalyst for purpose. I mean, you think about working out, right? One of the things I love about fitness is how it can be such an influential part in so many other areas of your life. You have to fail to grow stronger. You have to fail to run faster. You have to be in pain. And so using that pain to get better, and you grow from it.
Graft until you feel pain rise from your toes up to the highest point of your head. Not until then will you know you've made it past the fear, past failure, and towards achievement. You're in the right place. Your place is here. This is where it all starts, where your life finally falls into place, where you don't just see progress, you become it. You have it. You feel it within you. This is when you know you've made it, when you know you've grown.
Trusting the process, being patient. If they're not seeing results as fast as they want, quitting isn't going to help them get there. So I just try to help them see that, just change their mindset, change their perspective, be grateful, be as positive as you can be, because I think positivity is it's like one of those buzzwords now, like be positive, be this, be that. Which you can't be positive about everything, because there's some things in life that suck that you got to look at and be like, well, I'm 100 pounds overweight, like that sucks. But I think the key is being positive about the way you're going about doing things is what changes things. Because if you're pessimistic and negative, you're not going to do shit. And I think so many people are afraid to look at themselves in the mirror and realize that they're the problem. Like, they realize that they're the ones complaining, bitching and moaning, and that them being coddled and sugarcoating everything is the reason that they're not getting anywhere in life. Reaching a goal sucks. It takes a lot of hard work, but not achieving the goal sucks even more. So choose your suck. Do you want to suck by not achieving it, or do you want to suck by working hard, putting in passion, putting in discipline, commitment, and hard work, and then achieving something? And that's how you build confidence, is tackling things you never thought you could do, trying things and failing and getting back up and keeping going and keeping going. And it doesn't matter how many times you get punched in the mouth, it matters how many times you fight back. And I think a lot of times, Tom, I love this analogy because it relates to so many people. In a fight, if you and I were to sit here and you were to start punching me at random, sucker punching me, would I stand here and let you beat the piss out of me? I would hope not, right? But in life, we let life beat the piss out of us. And we make our circumstances even worse by, when a negative event happens, we get depressed, or we feel pity for ourselves, or we turn to quick fixes like drugs, alcohol, and it makes our situation worse. So when you unpack the layer and you give that tough love of saying, you know what, you need to change. You need to look at yourself in the mirror and stop being a victim, stop blaming other people, and take ownership for yourself, and stop waiting for other people to fix your life.
What is it that you're waiting for? How much do you want it? Ask yourself this. What's more valuable, waiting or your time, your power, and your action? This is where your journey starts. This is where you grow, adapt, Improve to become the person you admire. This is you. This can be you.
I think our belief system about ourselves can be so like hijacked based on what others say about us, and then we start to believe it, whether it's like, you know, you're ugly, you're a pussy, you suck, you're unathletic, and then sure enough, if it happens over years, you start to believe that about yourself if you have no confidence in who you are. And I think the more you can own who you are and just chase after your own dreams and stop worrying about everybody else, then those things start to become lies. When people are saying, you know what, you're a piece of shit, you suck, if you know about yourself, like that's not true. I mean, that's what self-love is. It's just really knowing truly inside of you who you are. Well, I think you gotta look at your why, like why you're doing it. Because I think when you have a strong enough why, like the what's in the hows become irrelevant. You remember like why you started. Because I think we spend so much time worrying about what everybody else is doing, we've lost track of who we are as a person, right? And just looking within, whether that's in meditation or prayer or journaling, to really figure out like the things we like, the people we like, you know, where we like going and all that stuff, and then kind of filter that into your life organically. In order to get where you're going, you gotta know where you're at. Keep going, keep going, keep going.
You have this power. Communicate your problems. Communicate the power you know that you have. This is the beginning of your power, the start of your progress. This is where it starts. This is where you become something better than now, where you build a life for yourself, one where you hold the reins, where you make the final cut, where you have that power. This risk is what will take you in the direction where you control your life at last.
So you have to deliberately practice the weaknesses and make them as strong as you can, while also practicing your strengths and making those the top of your performance. Most people are too lazy to do that. They just want to practice everything, or they don't want to even bother to figure out which piece is the most important. You have to dig the well before you're thirsty, and you have to give without the attachment to getting something in return. So when people want to reach out, stop thinking about what's in it for you. Start thinking about only what's in it for other people. And if you don't worry about what's in it for you, you will find opportunities that come later down the line. And to sort of illustrate this, when I moved to LA, I had a toothache, and it started to get more and more painful. And it really was starting to just dig into my brain. I couldn't think. I didn't have a car. I moved from New York. This is pre-Uber. I didn't have dental insurance because I was 27, and you know, who cares about your teeth, right? You think about those later. I'll get new ones. And so I started to desperately call dentists, and they were like, oh, look, I don't take new patients, or I can see you in a week. Go to the ER if you have a toothache. And I'm thinking, a week? I haven't slept. You know, this thing is killing me. So I posted on Facebook, and obviously I didn't have my privacy settings set correctly because a random stranger filled in the comment and said, my aunt's a dentist near you, do you want me to give her a call? And I said, sure, yeah. So I went to his aunt the next morning before they officially opened, got that thing drilled the hell out, got it filled. She didn't overcharge me. I send this guy a message, thank you so much. He goes, no problem, man. I don't know what you do. I heard you have some show that my friend likes, but I'm glad you got your tooth taken care of. And I said, let me know if there's anything I can do. He said, well, I'm a graphic designer, but I'm working at a cafe right now as a barista. I would love to just not make another cup of coffee again. And I said, well, I don't have any work for you, but I'll keep my ear to the ground. He said, whatever you can do, no problem. I don't expect you to give me a job. 4 days later, another entrepreneur friend of mine, she writes me and says, my web guys are blowing it. I keep firing them. Who can create good branding for me? I said, I've never worked with this guy, but here's a portfolio. He's a nice person. That's really all I can say. That guy got a full-time job, as far as I know, still works there years later, designing websites and templates and themes and branding for this woman's company because he helped me find a dentist on Facebook. So if he'd been thinking, how do I get a job? He would never have made that introduction to a dentist because the connection, the nexus is unclear. The opportunity lie over the horizon. But since he was helping without the attachment or expectation of anything in return, he ended up finding an opportunity through me that I didn't know about and that he didn't know about. But you won't find those unless you are constantly reaching out, digging the well before you're thirsty, and giving without that expectation of anything in return.
Keep going, keep going, keep going.
We all have potential. So what's stopping you? What we have to do is figure out where to channel it and what are those steps. There's no gatekeepers to capital anymore. There's no exclusive country club or college or this or that. And we're all interconnected. So it doesn't matter whether you're in a big city or in Botswana. You can still reach 6 billion consumers. What's stopping you? That fear of failure. That, oh, if I fail, what will people say? Failing's a great thing. Failing teaches you what doesn't work. Failure is throwing in the towel. So you take that job to be secure, you go for that big Fortune 500 company, and most of the Fortune 500 companies go out of business. There's less than 10% of them left. What's stopping you? That's an amazing statement of the original list. So it's not the security that's robbing ambition, it's the illusion of security that robs ambition. So the biggest risk you can take in life is not taking one. If you're at that point where you're in the middle of your career and you lost your job, or you're just out of college and starting, or just out of high school, go talk to a senior citizen about what they really regret about their lives. And it's not what they failed at. It's what they didn't try. It's the regrets of why didn't I? So if you try something and you fail, you learn a skill set for something else. Is people have problems in their lives. And most people sit there and dwell on the problems, or they relive yesterday. Every day you spend living yesterday's problem, you're giving up your future. It makes no sense. But if you say, I have problems, or am I unique? Am I the only one that has these problems? And the answer probably is no, okay? So find a problem that a lot of people have, solve it, and that's all that being an entrepreneur is, that's all the business person is. The more problems you have in your life, the more successful you'll be. What's stopping you? Dozens of your friends become billionaires. We weren't brighter, we didn't go to the right schools, we didn't do anything. What happened? The world changed. Well, the world's continuing to change. We have self-made billionaires in their 20s happening almost monthly. They have the same 24 hours in a day that you and I do. What are they doing differently? What are they doing that can be learned from and copied and emulated to solve a different problem? And if you're not motivated by money, how do you use these same tools to change the world? Because the world's got problems. What else is a problem that you aren't identifying because you've accepted that's the way it is, that's the way it's always been? What are you passionate about, and what affects the most people? All the big famous people that you hear about, you know, Richard Branson and Steve Jobs and Zuckerberg and everyone, they're no different than you are, right? 70-something% of the world's billionaires are self-made. So you can achieve this. Now, it's not going to be easy. You don't just wake up on Tuesday and become rich on Wednesday. But it doesn't take any more effort than going to a job that you hate. And unless you believe in reincarnation, you got one shot on this planet. One shot. So don't you want to make a difference? Don't you want to leave something behind and make the planet better than you found it? Why are you here? What do you want to accomplish with your life? And it doesn't have to be being rented, and it doesn't have to be money-oriented. The same principles in Disrupt You, you can change the educational system, you can change healthcare. I mean, I am humbled by what I'm seeing people create around the world with so little. But we are on this ball together. We can solve problems together. We can make a better future together. You know, it's an optimistic story that you get to write your piece of the story. I mean, why wouldn't people want to push their potential? So aim for the stars. If you didn't make it all the way, you made it to the moon, you know, not bad. And everyone should spend their time trying to be around people that you feel are smarter than you. That doesn't necessarily mean more educated. You don't have to be the best. Be the best at what you do, or the only one doing it. Because if you're the only one doing it, you're the best. And that's a lot better than competing. And then at some point, we become a nation of settlers that just settle for the way it is. We got to get more of that pioneer thing, because there's so much abundance, and it's not an us versus them. Everybody can benefit. Why wouldn't you want that? What's stopping you?
There's one way you should see life. Life is an opportunity. You have this opportunity for a reason. That reason is to succeed. Succeed far past fears, past doubts, past your insecurities, empowering yourself toward the finish line.
Success can only occur if you put in the work. If your progress comes first, this power can take you towards a life more than normal, more than worthy, because you're more than worthy.
Now is the time to make this opportunity. Your opportunity is more than this. It's your potential to succeed. Use your potential. Use it as your superpower, because that's what it is. Power. Power to succeed, to achieve. How badly do you want something? How much do you want it? There's only one way to get it. It's to work hard. Motivate your life toward a future where you can succeed, where you can achieve.
What's stopping you?
One mistake shouldn't hold you back for more than one day. The rise is the most important part of your progress. The rise makes your future something different. It makes you you. It makes you strong. And the intelligence of that takes you to a power worth your future. And value this. This moment of pain is not going to last forever unless you let it last forever. You don't need this, so don't let it happen. Change your perspective. Change your mindset to something always willing to grow, always willing to take courage. Make this who you are and make this worthwhile. This power that you have is valuable because your future is valuable and your potential is valuable. You're more than you could ever imagine, man. Your power is stronger than you could ever imagine. This progress is going to take time. But this opening to work, this opening that you have in this moment, it's not always open. So take it. Take it right now. Take it now before it's too late. You're more than your last minute. You're more than your last minute. You're more than your last mistake.
So respect the path you're on. Take the journey. Become the path. Make this define you. Your future relies on this. So be this opportunity. Take the risk and become the person you want to be. You're there. You're present. So act like it.
You have this power to become something better. Better than ordinary. Your progress never stops because the show always will go on. With or without you, life still continues. The world spins and time still passes. This is your opportunity. Get prepared for the success. Get prepared for the progress. You can make this you. Make this power yours. Yours to keep forever. Because this is what you're going to leave behind. This is what your legacy is made up of. The moments when you get knocked down but rise up over and over again. These are the building blocks of the legacy that you're constructing. These moments when you push forward and rise up over and over again. And that is what brings you to the place where you thrive. The place where you thrive and become better.
You're better than you think you are. All you need is belief. The belief that you can succeed. The belief that you can learn, educate yourself.
Your respect is worth something. It's worth your future and it's worth the discipline. This opening that you have is so special, so take it. Turn around and see the other side of your story. See the page where you're the star, where you have the power and success you've dreamed of having. Imagine that future.
You have the power to push the part of you that sheltered yourself from this progress, that didn't allow you to grow and get stronger. You can be better. You can change to be better, to be stronger, and become the person you need to be. Transform into the person with respect. Respect for themselves. Respect for the decisions you make. appreciation for the progress you're making. How are you going to make this transition? Are you willing to change? Do you want to change? In order for you to succeed, you need to switch your mindset. You need to know that you want it. Be honest with yourself. Be honest with your mistakes. You have one tool. It's called time. Taste the opportunity and feel the success. Feel the power rise above you. You have this. Believe that you can. Know that you can. Be the person you want to become.